I just turned 40. When I was 25, I started my first business. And by 28, I was successful, but completely burnt out. 29, I went on a deep spiritual journey to find myself, only to then lose myself in a dysfunctional relationship. And at 34, I started competing in triathlon. But 2 years later, I went through such intense health issues, I didn't even know if I would ever compete again. And yet, at 39, I became a world champion. And now at 40, I can genuinely say I love my life. But it's been a wild ride getting here. And if I could sit down with my 25-year-old self or any young guy who's ambitious, but maybe a little overwhelmed, a little lost, there's a few things I'd really want him to understand. So in this video, I'm gonna share 10 hard truths I wish I knew when I was 25. And I sincerely believe a few of these could save you years of unnecessary stress and suffering. And one of them could completely change your life. Number one, achievements won't fulfill you. When I was 26 or 27, something really strange happened. I spent months preparing for this huge launch in my business. I pushed myself to the limit, I worked really long hours, and eventually we hit this big revenue goal. It felt amazing for about 2 days. And then on day 3, that feeling was kind of gone. And it was back to work, back to the next goal, back to the next mountain to climb. And honestly, that experience kind of shook me because I had believed that once I achieved these big things, then I would feel really fulfilled. I would feel complete. But that's not how it works. Achievement is cool. It will give you this temporary high, but it just won't really create lasting peace or fulfillment. And if you build your whole life around it, you can end up trapped on this treadmill where you're always chasing the next goal, the next win, but you're never really feeling satisfied. So yes, pursue excellence, create, achieve, but don't expect achievement to complete you because real fulfillment usually comes from something much deeper. Your relationships, your presence, your character, the way you treat people. That's what really matters. Achievements will come and go, but the person you become, the person you are, that stays with you. Number 2, treat your 20s like a lab, not a final exam. When I came out of grad school at 25, I thought it was finally time to prove myself to the world. After so many years of school, I saw adult life as this test I needed to pass to validate myself. But what I realize now is that your 20s is the perfect time to run experiments and discover who you really are. For example, when I went to live in Bali for 4 months, that's when I start to discover who I am, what I want, and what kind of life I want to build for myself. Truth is, you can read books and watch videos all day, but ultimately the best way to learn, the best way to discover yourself is through living. So get out there, try new things, experiment, meet different kinds of people. You'll see that you've got more room to grow than you can even imagine, and you can have a lot of fun doing it. Number 3, stop impressing and start connecting. When I was younger, I thought the key to getting people to like me was to impress them. So I tried to be sharp, to be funny, to be interesting. I tried to be special. And that was especially true when it came to women I liked. Then I tried extra hard. And honestly, it made my social life way more stressful and complicated than it needed to be, because that's just not how human connection actually works. When you meet people, stop trying so hard to perform and instead focus on connecting, human to human, heart to heart. Be curious, ask questions, listen, and don't just reveal the impressive parts of yourself. Reveal the real parts too. You'll see that magic happens when you relax, you just be yourself, and you genuinely care about other people instead of obsessing about what they think about you. Number 4, your nervous system affects everything. When I was 25, I never heard about this idea of regulating your nervous system. That's not something people really talked about. Instead, I lived on excitement, on ambition, on adrenaline. But what I didn't understand was how much chronic stress and overstimulation could affect my health, affect my relationships, affect everything. If you want to build a life that works, it's not just about effort. It's also about the state you're operating from. Working nonstop in a depleted state is way less effective than working a little bit less, but doing it from a space of clarity, of inspiration, of genuine energy. So pay attention to how you feel. And when your nervous system starts to tell you it needs to rest, it needs to relax, listen. Go outside, slow down, take some deep breaths, spend time with people you love. You'll come back clearer, healthier, and everything will start to flow a lot more easily again. Number 5, your ability to feel difficult emotions is a superpower. In my 20s, I developed this unhealthy habit without even realizing it. Whenever I felt a difficult emotion like shame, anger, sadness, I saw it as like a distraction from my goals and my ambition. So I started using cannabis to escape those emotions. I would take a couple puffs, and just like that, the feelings would fade into the background and my mind would get stimulated and filled with interesting ideas. But what I didn't understand at the time was that numbing or avoiding emotions actually comes with a huge cost. Because emotions are not meant to be endlessly suppressed or numbed out. They're actually meant to be felt and processed. And when you don't process them, that emotional energy stays stuck inside of you, and that weighs you down, and over time it can even make you sick. So whenever a difficult emotion comes up, don't freak out. Just take a couple breaths, slow down, feel what's there, and talk to someone if you need to. And remember, emotions are just a part of the game. If you allow yourself to feel them, they'll move through you like a cloud in the summer sky, and on the other side, you'll feel a lot lighter, and you'll actually feel stronger too. Number 6, difficult conversations will change your life. When I was younger, I was terrified of conflict. I tolerated behavior that bothered me and kind of stayed quiet about things that were really frustrating me. Then one day, one of my mentors said, the quality of your life is directly correlated to the number of 5-minute sweaty palm conversations you're willing to have. And honestly, that changed everything for me. Because whenever you're around other people, friction will arise. That's normal. And you can either tolerate it or you can address it. What I've learned is the best time to have a conversation is when your frustration is like at a 3 or 4 out of 10. At that point, you can still stay calm, you can still be grounded, and you can just say it. Hey, I'm feeling this way because of this situation, explain what's going on. And here's what I'd like to moving forward. Just make a clean, simple request. The person can say yes or no, but you'll feel in integrity with yourself. No drama, no yelling, just clarity and honesty. Almost every time I've done that, it's gone well, and it's actually brought me closer to the other person as well. So don't avoid difficult conversation. Lean into them early before resentment builds. It will change your relationships, and honestly, your whole life. 7, build for long-term success, not just short-term intensity. In my 20s, I thought the key to success was to push harder, to grind more, to sacrifice more than other people. I remember a couple times a week, one of my employees and I, we would work all day and then go back to the office from 9 p.m. till midnight for what we called the greatness shift. We thought we were getting ahead by working these crazy hours, but in reality, we were just getting exhausted. What nobody tells you is that if you burn out too early, you can spend years trying to recover from the damage. Life is not a sprint, it's a very long game. So yes, in your 20s, build some skills, take some risks, create some momentum, but don't destroy your health, your nervous system, or your relationships trying to make it as fast as possible. Instead, build a life you enjoy, build a life you can sustain, and you'll be reaping the rewards for decades to come. 8, choose your relationships carefully. When I was younger, I made the mistake of thinking that if the chemistry or the attraction was good enough, it was worth justifying almost anything. If someone was beautiful or the sex was amazing, then I was willing to tolerate behaviors that deep down I knew weren't good for me. I remember being in one relationship in particular where I felt constantly anxious, like I was walking on eggshells, but I told myself it was okay because the chemistry was really amazing. But what I eventually realized is that no attraction is worth losing your peace. A great relationship will give you energy, will give you strength, will give you joy, but a bad one, it will drain you emotionally and just make your life way harder than it needs to be. So yes, find someone you're attracted to, of course, that matters, but also make sure they're respectful, they're emotionally mature, and that when you're with them, it feels healthy, it feels easy in a way. And honestly, don't ignore red flags just because they're hot. Trust me, it's not worth it. Number 9, life comes in seasons. When I was younger, I thought if I just work hard enough and succeeded enough, then eventually life will just feel kind of peaceful and chill all the time. But that's just not how it works. As we say in French, la vie n'est pas un long fleuve tranquille. Life is not one long calm river. Instead, it comes in seasons. There are seasons when things flow really easily, you're inspired, you're energized, you're in flow. And there are seasons that feel hard, painful, confusing. And what I've learned is that both are temporary. So when life is good, enjoy it, savor it, be grateful, and don't take it for granted. But when life is hard, don't panic, don't despair. Remember that this too shall pass. And in those hard seasons, that's when you can actually build your character, build resilience, build a strength that will be with you all the time. And if you can learn to find meaning and find gratitude even in the hard seasons, then you'll be someone who can find happiness no matter what's happening around you. 10, if you do your best, life will meet you halfway. When I was 25, I was honestly terrified that my life wouldn't work out, that I would fail, that I would run out of money, that I would end up in a ditch somewhere. So as a result, I worked insane hours and obsessed over so many things, trying to control life, trying to make sure I would be safe and I would be okay. But by 28, I was exhausted and burned out. What I understand now is that constantly living from fear or overdrive is just not the path to a good life. Yes, work hard when you need to, show up, do your best, 100%. But also understand that you don't need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Life, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, will meet you halfway. So trust that as long as you do your part, as long as you do your best, life will do its part too. Ultimately, your 20s have the potential to be one of the most fun and transformative periods of your life. But like I said earlier, the deepest lessons don't come from listening to someone else. They come from actually living. So get out there, try some things, take some risks, get a little messy, and definitely have some fun with it. Because that's how you learn who you are, what you like, and what kind of life feels aligned for you. And hey, remember, nobody has it all figured out. Maybe 10 years from now, when I turn 50, I'll make a video called 40 Things I Wish I Knew When I Was 40. The truth is, we're all just learning as we go. So be patient with yourself. And if you like this video, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What one idea, what hard truth most resonated with you? Love to know. But for now, I wish you to enjoy the ride, to enjoy this journey, and I'll see you in the next video.